All right. I hope everybody is having a good night tonight.
Everybody
Yeah, we're here. It is Mercury retrograde. And
in Leo.
yeah, and I already just fumbled my first few words, and I just realized, oh yeah, that's fitting because it's Mercury retrograde. So yeah, that makes about sense. So yeah, guys, Jeanette and Nellie, we're here. We're going to talk about Mercury retrograde. If you didn't catch our couple videos before, we're the Chiron Sisters Rising, and we're going to be spending some time sharing things about astrology, spirituality, 5D consciousness, all different kinds of things. So yeah, Jeanette, thanks for chatting with me tonight. I know it's like a little bit late, but it's all good. It's how we
Huh?
roll.
Me too, my stuff too.
Yeah. But yeah, I think, you know what? I know for me, the Mercury retrogrades have been hitting a lot more. Since I'm Virgo rising, Mercury is my chart ruler. And so I've noticed probably in the last year, like every time it's a Mercury retrograde, I get like more and more impacted. So I don't know about for you, like if you notice it, or just having the awareness when it's the time. Like do you feel it's where I think we're just 2 days in, right? I think it started yesterday. So
Yeah, the
do you feel
17th.
anything yet? You feel anything yet for you with the retrograde?
For me, I am having more bold expression again.
Okay. Yeah, you're right, because you
With
said it's Leo.
my
Yeah.
moon is in Leo, so I'm reevaluating things, my expression, my creativity, um, and my direction and leadership style,
You know what I just
and
realized?
reconsidering how I use my voice and
Yeah, my
trying.
Mercury is in Leo. I'm just sitting here like thinking about
Oh
my
yeah.
chart, and I was like, oh yeah, that's the reality I live with all the time because my Mercury is in Leo in the 11th house. So, yeah. So, I guess it should be probably good for me because it is the same energy that I'm used to. Because I think I tend to speak in that fiery, passionate way, and I do say what's on my mind,
Yeah, you
people
do.
like it or not. um,
Right.
it's a good assertive energy, which is kind of interesting in Cancer season, which is more like, I guess, quieter, introspective. And then now it's like that Leo energy is getting on the scene, and we're about to be in Leo season anyway. So
Right.
yeah, it's kind of interesting.
And as many of you who, keep up on Mercury retrograde, it's about revisiting, revising, reflecting, rest.
Right, right. I have those same things and something I looked up, and I also saw a recenter. I'm like, well, that's good because when you're having these moments of going back in time and being introspective, that can be triggering if you're thinking about the past. So I think the grounding is actually pretty good advice. Um,
Hmm.
I think we all need to reflect anyway, because I think when we're too busy operating and trying to like go through the motions of life, sometimes we're not thinking enough about like the past, like what did we just live? How how is it a pattern? How does it figure into like everything else that's going on? I think it's good to
Right.
have those moments because I feel like for me, I don't like recognize things in the moment, like when I'm doing it, and I don't realize like why I'm upset about something. And then like hours later, days later, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, this is connected to something in the past, connected to past relationship, a past situation. And then I'm like processing it, but I don't always realize it at the time. And I'm sure that if I'm not, I guess other people are not too. So,
Right. But if we're revisiting, past scenarios, then there may be something that didn't come up before that's coming up now that we are recognizing now to learn from that we didn't learn from before.
right.
So,
It's like those lessons. Like I feel like it's
yeah.
those karmic lessons that are coming up that it's
Right.
like the universe is throwing us back into these situations to finish the lesson. So yeah, I think it makes sense. But I'm just looking at my notes and it said, yeah, looking at past projects and relationships with fresh eyes. Because I think as Virgo rising anyway, I tend to analyze and evaluate. So then I think about, okay, what are my what am I noticing about my relationships, whether it's friendships or romantic or whatever, and am I seeing any connection with it? I don't know if I've actually thought about Mercury retrograde for relationships though. I've usually just thought about it with like, watch your words, Nelly, make sure you're clear, make sure you're not miscommunicating or ticking somebody off, like, pay attention to tech because you could have
Right.
failures, that kind of thing. I don't know if I've looked
Right.
at it
That's
for relationships.
re-examining your ego. So,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, Leos are known to be quite egotistical. So if we have Leo in our chart, we definitely have to reflect on, make sure that our ego isn't leading the show, and, is it helping or harming our relationships or our goals? So,
Yeah, it's funny because like I didn't think about that so much, but I feel like the word ego or egotistical has hit my head like a few times in these few days. So kind of makes sense as I'm like thinking about things and how I'm advising or uh
you
interacting with
don't come,
others.
yeah, you don't come across egotistical to me though.
No, but there are times where I feel like I know quite a bit and I'll give my advice. And sometimes it could be forceful. And I think yeah, I mean, I try to
If
think of the greater good, but yeah, so yeah, ego can get in the way. I don't know. It's like almost 48 years old. I feel like I've lived a bunch of life. And when I see people kind of going down a bad path, I want to like intervene. And so I can state what I
control,
feel is the truth. So yeah, I can have the ego thing. Yeah,
yeah,
I have Mercury and I have Saturn both in like Leo, and I'm Cancer 29th degree, which is like almost a
Leo,
Leo. I'm a couple hours from Leo. I grew up
so
with a
you're a
Leo mom, so I don't know. I feel like
Cancer Leo cusp.
yeah, and I have my older son is Leo, my mom is Leo. I have a bunch of friends who are either Leo sun or Leo moon, so I feel like I'm around that energy.
Bunch of
Uh,
lions.
yeah,
Arr.
so yeah, I was gonna say. So it's all good. I think it's good to keep our egos in check, right?
Yeah. My daughter and I are both Leo moon. So,
Yeah, so let's think what else Mercury retrograde. I know travel, because I haven't thought about this too much, but like I
yeah, I
do
can
have a
expect travel.
tendency I have a tendency to be
Back.
late. And so I know that during this time, I need to make sure that I leave a little bit earlier because there's going to be some kind of an issue, whether it's driving or, like,
Yes.
planes,
Good
all
point.
kinds of communication and travel. Yeah. So we just have to like be watchful, and just
Right.
know that that could be compromised.
Right. And there could be a lot of misunderstandings that come up in conversation with people. Maybe, you know, not all the things are said. And so somebody could be reading in between the lines. So it's good to take time to reflect before, jumping
Getting
down
sent.
someone's throat.
Right. Things can be lost in translation for sure. So
Yeah.
that's why sometimes, because we've gotten so informal and there's so much that happens over text versus like, actual phone call or in-person interaction or even like what we're doing, that like you can read a certain text and or email or whatever it happens to be and interpret it one way, but
Yeah.
again, not in that person's head, so we don't really know. I'm like, did that person really mean that or did they mean something else? Was it being sarcastic or was it,
Right.
real? So yeah, I feel like
That's
especially
why,
during this time we have to be careful.
yeah. That's why, like, with people I'm close to, and maybe I should make it, like kind of a normal thing with other people too. But with people I'm close to, I like, to send a voice message, voice clip, because I feel like that leaves, less room for
True.
misinterpretation.
That's true. Right. Yeah, I have learned that before I click or hit send during this time that I need to reread what I wrote just to make sure that it's clear and then maybe even follow up if I don't get the response that I was intending to get to, be careful. Oh, and contracts. That's the other thing that just hit me.
Yeah.
I was
To
doing
not
I
sign
was doing a
contract.
contract today. We have to be careful with our words and everything in the contract and be
Read the
careful what we
fine
sign.
print.
Right. It's like in that Willy Wonka movie, and make sure you read the fine print. Yeah. So yeah, I have to be just really careful because I just realized that. So like they say not to sign any big deals, any big contracts like within this 3 week period. Not to say that you can't, but if you are going to be careful,
Yes.
and just make
Go
sure
over
that
it.
right. Yeah, I forgot about that. So
Kind
yeah,
of like if you start something new, it says to, to really go over it deeply, like over a couple times before putting it out there. So
yeah. And I know for me,
there
if I
could
have
be
to make a
mistakes.
I know for me, like when I have to make a big decision, I sleep on it. Like I don't make it right away because I don't always trust myself. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give it some more time. And I think especially during this time, it's even more important to like make sure that you're like, I don't know, I guess with being Libra moon, I tend to like give it more time and Virgo wants to like analyze it all. So it's kind of like, okay, have I looked at all sides? Have I thought about all the different people? Have I thought about the different scenarios? And so maybe giving yourself that extra time to like look at it, maybe look at it from other people's point of view. It could be helpful if you have to make a big decision,
Mhm.
but um
Right. Didn't see from
I
other perspectives.
no, I know when I
Helpful.
was in the divorce process last year, when I had to get paperwork from a lawyer, I was like really paying attention to when it was going to be Mercury retrograde, and I didn't want to have to sign anything during those times. So I do know that like when you're dealing with legal things too, it's a good time to be careful. Um, and kind of watch any kind of like legal documents of any kind, or if there's any house sales or whatever,
Yeah.
anything in the
I
legal.
thought about that too, as I will be approaching a legal signing
Yeah.
during Mercury retrograde.
Right. So yeah, not to say that you shouldn't do it, but just being more careful,
I
like
have to. I don't have a choice. So
right,
yeah, I was thinking, oh, well, make sure you read the fine print and
right,
ask any questions that you have. And yeah.
right. And I think also it's important to not use Mercury retrograde as an excuse to not do things because it's like somebody, let's say you end up getting into a fight with somebody and say, "Oh, it's Mercury retrograde." Okay, well, like we have to take personal responsibility for things
Mhm.
and not just blame Mercury, for it. It's
Right.
like, okay, we're in control of our actions and our behaviors and our thoughts, so can't blame it on the planet. But it's a time where it's warning us to be more careful. Honestly, we should be anyway,
Sure.
but it's
Yeah.
especially like in this 3 week period. So,
And of course, then there's internet issues or tech issues
right.
or vehicle malfunctions. And you know what? I dealt enough with that
Yeah,
a couple
I
months ago, so I better be good.
right, right. Just make sure everything is. I just had to put air in my tires the other day. I
Same.
was like being and my son's tires need air. Just thought about that. I was like, yeah, that's important because you have to make sure everything is safe with the car. The tech
Hmm.
stuff is for sure because I've had issues, like more issues with tech around the time when it's Mercury retrograde. So yeah, things with our computers, our tablets, our phones, etc.
Yeah, I needed a new charger for the car.
Yeah, so
That
it,
was right
it
on the 17th. It just
yeah, yep, it always
stopped
happens.
working.
So yeah, I think it's just good to keep it in mind. I mean, it's not like crazy eclipse energy or anything that we need to be really like worrisome about, but a lot of problems happen when there's miscommunication. I mean, that's why wars have been fought over miscommunication. So it's kind of like, our world is a bit volatile right now, and I don't know what's going to happen if these 3 weeks are going to intensify issues, but it certainly could, so it's kind of like we just have to be careful about how we communicate with others because words are like spells, like we say those
Hmm.
words and it's like be careful what
Right.
you say, you might get whatever it is that you say or what you ask. So it's just be
Yeah.
really watchful with your words. So yeah, I just think, it's an important time. I'm glad we got a chance to talk about this retrograde, and I'm thinking we'll come back on next week to talk about the new
For
moon
the
or
new moon.
maybe about the mission of Chiron Sisters. We're going to talk more about things that we have. So we hope you guys will, keep watching and supporting us and, learning more.
Thank you for all your support.
Yeah. And yeah, we're about to be out of time here on our video. We are gonna be using a new platform because we are gonna be doing a podcast. So it's gonna be a little bit different because we want to have things that are interactive. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming soon. So yeah, I guess
Yes.
everybody have a good weekend.
Yeah.
As we wrap up Cancer season. Anything
Have a
else
good
you got?
weekend,
Anything
everyone.
else? Anything else? Any other tips or anything that you can think of?
Just, if you have any questions about the astrology that's going on right now, the aspect, and how it's affecting you, if you want to just talk about it with us, you can just feel free to reach out to Nellie or I, and we can talk with you about it and maybe do an analysis or soul guided reading for you.
Right, right. Our Star Soul bundle that we talked about. So yeah, we're looking forward to adding more of you to it. I think it'll be like truly great insight. And especially as we're going into like Leo season and then the Lionsgate portal, I think it'll help you be even like more on fire when you know like your actual missions. I feel like a lot of people could use that. So
Right. Because I think a lot of people right now are questioning too, or will be, questioning their direction and if they're feeling aligned with what they're doing. And maybe people are even, starting to go through awakenings and, with that questioning.
right.
So we're here for
Right.
that too, to help guide you through that. So
Yep, we are here. So everybody have a good night. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, we will keep looking forward to giving you guys more content.